everybody, Foxy here with Foxy Books and Planning. Today I wanted to do a quick tour of my bookshelves just to show you how I organize my books and go through kind of my rationale for why I organize why I do. And we'll see how this goes doing more of a moving filming situation. So this is the first shelf I wanted to show you all. So this is in my living room. It's right next to my television, so we have an Xbox, a Switch, and some decorative things. And then the next shelf is cookbooks and classics. So cookbooks come to about here. And then we have classics and the Barnes & Noble small edition classics that they did in the early 2000s. All of my books are organized by author's last name, firstly. And then secondly, if it's part of a series, I do them in series order. Or if I have a lot of books by one author, I'll do them in publication order after that. So then this is the second part of the classics. And then we have comics, which is this little section right here. And then our Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And then we get into the fantasy books. And then this is our TV stand. It's an old radio stand that's been in my family for years. And we have CDs, DVDs arranged by genre and then by title. Video games done in kind of whatever order, mostly the order that we use them in. And then more fantasy. And then we come over to this bookcase on the other side, where we have some of my family kind of knickknacks and collectibles. As you can see, we really like Deadpool. And then the kind of display fantasy shelf, because it has my Harry Potter books on it. And that's the end of the fantasy section. And we have horror here at the very end with the Stephen King novels. Okay, so now we're in my office area, and this is the mystery section with some more little knickknacks. And this entire shelf is mysteries because it contains my entire collection of Dick Francis novels. And as you can see, I've got them doubled up here because I've run out of room here at the bottom, and then my planner stuff is underneath. And then the last two sets of shelves, this is my general fiction, nonfiction. This shelf has fiction or nonfiction and references. And then this whole shelf is science fiction. Then the last shelf doesn't have any true books on it. We have the board games and card games, notebooks and coloring books, and then old school notes. So yeah, I don't have that many bookcases per se, but they are quite full, and I do try and keep them quite neat. So the way I've organized them is I've organized them by genre, or at least what I consider the genre to be. And I've done the genres alphabetically with the exception of the cookbooks, because I tried to put the cookbooks as close to the kitchen as possible. And then, like with the movies, or I think I mentioned this with the classics, is I organize by author's last name. And if it's a series, I try and do them in series order. So like all the Dick Francises are in publication order. And the Agatha Christie's are in publication order, which is really confusing and a pain in the butt to do. Because some of the Agatha Christie books have changed names like 6 or 7 times over the years, so it's hard to know which one you're talking about. And with the Christie ones in particular, I've tried to organize them by detective featured, so like, and then There Were None doesn't have a detective, and then these are all Poirot novels, and I don't have any of the Miss Marple or the others. In terms of, sorry, I'm walking. In terms of nonfiction, I did at one time try to organize them by the Dewey Decimal System, and I figured out that the Dewey Decimal System is a little too much of a pain in the butt, especially if you don't know the exact Dewey Decimal of all of these books. So doing them by author last name is just easier, and if I really want to, I can get a little more specific with my nonfiction where I separate them by type of nonfiction, whether it's history, science, politics, current events, personal development, that kind of stuff. But this way is just easier, and the same goes for the reference material shelf, is it's just easier to keep them by author's last name as opposed to trying organizing them by type of reference book, but I could do it if I wanted to. So I hope you all enjoyed this really short video. I'd love to hear how you all organize your shelves, and please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.